You're married. You're finally alone with your spouse. You reach to kiss them. But wait, is it Tuesday? Because if it's Tuesday, the church says you're going to hell. Yes, in the Middle Ages, the church didn't just care about your soul. It cared about your sex life, in terrifying detail. It told you when you could have sex, how, and even why. And if you got it wrong, you weren't just sinning. You were risking eternal damnation. Sex wasn't seen as love. It wasn't even seen as a human need. It was seen as a threat to the soul, to discipline, and to the perfect order of society. So the church responded the only way it knew how, with rules. And not just one or two. They built an entire system of moral surveillance. A spiritual dictatorship in your bedroom. Let's start with the calendar. Because in the Middle Ages, most of the year was off-limits for sex. Fridays were banned. Christ's crucifixion. Sundays, God's day. Wednesdays, the betrayal of Jesus. Advent and Lent? Of course not. And no sex on holy days, fast days, or during menstruation. By the time you crossed off all the no-go days, you were left with maybe 100 days a year. And even then, they were watching. Okay, let's say you picked the right day. Now comes the position check. Only missionary was acceptable. The man on top, the woman below, like God intended. Anything else? Considered unnatural. Doggy style. Sin. Woman on top. Sin. Standing. Sin. Oral. Sin. Anal. Executable offense. Because every sexual act had to reflect the divine order. God above man, man above woman, soul above body. And it wasn't about love. It was about procreation. Even within marriage, if you had sex just for pleasure, that was a mortal sin. And then came confession. Imagine sitting in a dark wooden box and whispering to a priest, "Forgive me, Father, for I have sinned," and then listing out your crimes. I lay with my wife, on the wrong day. She was on top. We did it before Massachusetts. She enjoyed it. Priests weren't just hearing your sins. They were recording your every desire. Books called penitentials listed exact punishments. Asterisk sex in daylight, 20 days of penance. Asterisk during pregnancy, 40 days. Asterisk while drunk, 15 days. Asterisk oral sex, 1 whole year of punishment. Asterisk anything considered unnatural, eternal fire. But if you were a woman, it got worse. Much worse. Women were blamed for original sin. Blamed for tempting men. Blamed for enjoying sex. Some theologians wrote that a woman's orgasm could summon demons. Others claimed that if a woman got pregnant from rape, it meant she wanted it, because conception only happened with pleasure. Pleasure was heresy. Desire was evil. And the more a woman expressed it, the more she became a threat. Witches, seductresses, temptresses, these weren't myths. They were the labels slapped on real women who didn't follow the rules. Meanwhile, the priests, the bishops, the monks, many of them were secretly breaking every rule they enforced. Keeping mistresses, fathering children, visiting brothels. One bishop in France had 65 illegitimate children. But a poor farmer could be flogged for making love to his wife in the wrong position. It was hypocrisy on a divine scale. And yet, people resisted. Quietly, cleverly. They created herbal contraceptives. They passed erotic poems in secret. They confessed fake sins just to mess with priests. And sometimes, they just ignored the rules altogether. Because deep down they knew. This wasn't about purity. It was about power. The church didn't just want to save your soul. It wanted to own your body. And for centuries it did. It told you what was holy, what was filthy, what was natural, and what would send you to hell. All because you wanted to feel close, to feel loved, to feel human. So, next time you think about the good old days, remember this. In the Middle Ages, the most intimate parts of your life weren't yours at all. They belonged to the church. And if you disobeyed, You didn't just risk shame. You risked eternity, accompanied by a list of visuals.